And welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of Rogue Actions, guys. If you missed part 1, you need to get over there ASAP, everybody, to Ram's channel. You can find the link down below, everybody, to check out parts 1, 2, and 3. Not episodes 1, 2, and 3, but parts 1, 2, and 3 of the Rogue Actions episode.
Topics 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, topics 1, 2, and 3. With that being said, guys, we're going to be checking out topics 4, 5, and 6 today on this part of the video, everybody.
I'm the prequel trilogy. You're the OG.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can be the sequel trilogy.
No sequel. Don't you put that juju on me. All right, guys. So we're gonna start things off here today by talking a little bit about unsolicited nerfs. So CG, I feel like I've been super salty of late, Ram, but I can't help it, man. They just keep doing things that make me salty. So CG of late, guys, has been pushing out content, and then they go in and they have to nerf it because they haven't tested it thoroughly. Shocking. We'll come back to that.
I'm shocked.
We'll come back to that in a moment. But specifically today, guys, we're going to be talking about one that was not communicated to us. So there have been some that we've known that were coming, and we could reasonably expect there might be a potential nerf to it. And then there are others that were not communicated at all. And that's really where I have the issue. So, Ram, we're going to go ahead and check out the forums real quick here and look at what I'm talking about specifically, guys. So, over on the forums, folks, you can see I kind of already have highlighted the big thing that I have issues with. There were two really big kind of nerfs that happened, and these are, one of them is related to a Datacron, the other one is not, to be clear. The one that is not related to a Datacron is the Rollo nerf that happened because of her interaction with Sana Staros. This is one that I think everyone could see coming. I called out exactly what was going to be nerfed and how they would nerf it. It was going to be the leadership that, only enemies would affect it, not allies, that kind of thing. That's what they did. But they warned us about this nerf. We knew this was a potential thing that could come in. They did not say anything at all about the Moff Gideon Kron. Nothing about this, guys. And in the past, their argument has always been, well, the Krons are temporary. We don't need to fix it. We can just let it be. If it's overpowered, who cares? It's going to go away in, 3 to 4 months. Well, that's not the case apparently this time. And I know they don't like Terminator loops. I get that, guys. But they didn't even tell us anything about this, which is where I really have an issue with this. Ram, first of all, let's talk about these two different nerfs that happened here. Do you think the Rollo nerf is appropriate, and do you think they handled it correctly? And then B, same kind of question with Moff Gideon and his nerf to his Datacron. Do you think it's good, handled correctly, or done poorly?
So, yes and no, right? So, like, the Rollo one, correct me if I'm wrong, and again, this was during 3v3, and I really, it's shocking. I don't care about 3s.
It works in 5s as well.
Right.
I think it started in 5s.
But I think they announced that they had an issue with it in 3s, at the beginning of 3s, right?
I
that they
think
were going to look into it?
Yeah, so I think it happened during 5s. That's when it was discovered. And then I think they announced that they were investigating it when 3s was happening.
Yes. So, because it was announced that they're like, hey, there's an issue, we're looking into it, whatever. That's fine. Cool. No issue there. The East Coast one, which I think if you scroll down a little bit, there's that as well. Yes, I had heard people complaining about it, but I don't know. I don't recall seeing anything on the forums from CG saying, hey, we're looking into this or whatever. So that one in Moff Gideon, that's where I fall in the same boat as Shaka. Mm-hmm. If you announce it somewhere on the forums, or you go into the Swiggo event server or something and you say, hey, this is an issue, we're looking into it, cool. Your base is covered. Ideally, would we like you to be a little bit more transparent and be a little bit more pronunciated with, and I'm probably just throwing big words out there because they sound good.
Yeah, pronunciated. I get it. I get
your
meaning.
Yeah. Look, it's my new word now. I would like you to explain a little bit more and be like, hey, we're looking into this because this might be an issue, whatever. There might be a potential nerf coming down the road. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, communication is communication, and we don't get enough of it a lot of times. So
agreed.
when we get some form of communication, whether that is we're investigating an issue regarding this, I'll take that, because that's better than nothing. I don't recall ever seeing anything about Aethkoff or Gideon regarding their crons and their issues that they were looking into fixing it. This post is the first one that I can recall ever seeing something related to that from CG themselves, not the community. This community put this out there several times.
Oh yeah.
CG themselves, I don't think ever officially came out and said, hey, we're looking into this. So that being said, hey, we're looking into this issue. Maybe don't invest or whatever. Might have been a good thing, right? Because I'm of the standpoint, if they announce it, it's your risk as the player to make that determination if you still want to invest or not, knowing that it could change, it could not change.
So first of all, yes, at minimum they need to announce that they're investigating this stuff. Yeah. I would even like to see them go a step further. And so how do I say this? So like with Bane, for instance, when Bane came out, that's an example of where they said he was under investigation, but they didn't do anything with it. And that's because he was overperforming their original expectations, but they were okay with how much of an overperformance there was. I wish they could say something like, we're investigating this because it is overperforming beyond our expectations, which means that, like, okay, we don't necessarily plan on nerfing this, but we're going to, keep an eye on it just in case it's doing crazy stuff. Versus, this is under investigation because it is not working as we intended. I don't know how the wording would be, but something that is more direct, like, hey, this is going to get changed. Like if you say we're going to investigate because it's not working as intended, to me that means there's something wrong with the kit and it needs to be fixed. Versus it's overperforming means that, there's not necessarily anything wrong in the kit. They really shouldn't change anything. It's just doing some stuff that they didn't expect. So like, just to it's almost like I need like a warning system of how severe this kit is working compared to what it should be, so I know whether to really hold off and not touch it, or okay, maybe invest a little bit but not go too far, that kind of a thing. Like, I get that they, at least for Rolo, they gave us at least a warning on it. That's, I guess, technically all they have to say, so you just stop touching it until they give you your final word. But I'd still like to see just a little bit more nuance as opposed to just it's under investigation. You know what I mean? Now, the second question that goes along with this, so obviously, the big things here, guys, is the Moff Gideon Cron, as well as this Eth Koth Cron here. For me, I do have an Eth Koth Cron, but I have not, used any extra materials or anything to get that. I've got it right off the bat. I've had it for the entire 3v3 season, so I'm not losing anything out of that per se. Versus the Moff Gideon Cron, however, I was irate. I was irate when they made this announcement because A, they hadn't told us anything about it in advance, and then B, I literally, the day before this announcement came out, took up this cron to unlock the Moff Gideon level 9, and then spent roughly 300 reroll mats on the level 6, and probably an additional 200 reroll mats on the level 3 to get this cron, because not only is this cron incredibly good on offense and can beat Jabba, but also I literally lost one of my Gax because I couldn't beat this team unless I used my JMK because of the turn meter loop. So here's where I have an issue. So A, if you're going to nerf this because this is not working as intended, which is essentially the way that I interpret what they're saying in the forums, then that means that, in my opinion, people should be compensated for stuff that they've invested into this cron. Especially someone like me who just spent all of these reroll mats for that cron for that specific reason. And then to go a step further, and I know I'm being really salty here, guys, but to go a step further, I lost a GAC because of this, because it wasn't working correctly in their minds. So shouldn't I get crystals for that too? Like, maybe I'm just being someone that's complaining, guys, but I was so mad about this when this dropped because A, zero communication, B, I lost so many materials and literally lost a GAC because this was allowed to go all the way through 3v3 with no communication at all about it being an issue. And then suddenly now, after I've invested all those materials, now they change it. I don't know. Ram, am I being reasonable or ridiculous right now in what I'm saying in my rant?
I think that go ahead and pull up the sign.
Yeah, I'll get it out.
This is absolutely reasonable. It is absolutely reasonable.
Yes, guys. Reasonable.
Again, if they had put it out saying, "Hey, this is an issue. We're looking into it. You know, there might be changes coming down because he's overperforming past our expectations." However they want to word it, that would have told you in this case, but presumably a whole bunch of more people would have told you, Shaka, that hey, I might want to hold off investing in this just yet, or going super hard. Maybe not go all the way into the 80 rerolls. Maybe just only do the 20s and the 40s because that's not really that big a deal. Right. But re-rolling several times into the 80 rerolls, that's a lot of materials that you're just losing just to get these crons. Right. You know, or maybe it might have been cheaper for you later on down the road to just roll a different cron and spend even less rerolls.
So that's probably what I would have done. If I had known they were nerfing this, I would have just gotten more of the crons and then tried to re-roll the best version of what I got, as opposed to just going really hard on this one cron because it's game breaking. Let's be honest, it was a game breaking cron.
Yes.
But
yeah. So no, they should absolutely, because they did not tell anybody, unless again, if you guys can tell us where they told us that, hey, we're investigating Gideon, then cool. Maybe we're overreacting. Yes. But as far as we've seen, we have not seen anything official from CG saying we're investigating Moff Gideon for his cron for an infinite Terminator loop, whatever. And so I feel like a reimbursement of some sort should be, whether they want to reimburse actual Datacron materials, they want to reimburse reroll mats, even just crystals. Something should be, I feel, warranted for this, because you just didn't let anybody know. And like you said in the past, with Datacron specifically, they normally don't really care about making changes because they're just going to be gone in 3 to 4 months anyways. Who cares? Right. And they already let this go for a whole 3v3 season. Yeah. If it was done at the very beginning of 3v3,
oh yeah, I wouldn't have had an issue then.
Yeah, maybe that's fine. But they let it go for an entire season before making a change prior to getting to 5v5. Not cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be being extra salty, but I don't care. I like some salt, guys. Let us know in the comments, everybody. So, am I being reasonable or ridiculous? First of all, and then second of all, is this an issue? Like, do you see that the primary thing here is the lack of communication and then nerfing something without that communication? I know that this is a turn meter loop issue, and they have made it well established in the past they don't want turn meter loops. I get that, but for me, the issue is the lack of communication on this. You should have said something in the 3v3 season, so I didn't hard invest in this. Let me know in the comments, guys, if I'm right on that, if I'm reasonable, if I'm ridiculous, or if you just don't care about Datacrons at all and you're tired of us talking about Datacrons. Bones. Anyway, moving on to our second topic. We're going to move things in the more positive directions here, guys. I know I've been extra salty, and I want to get back into some positivity. So, next up, we've got the beginning of 5v5 GAC, everybody. Thank goodness. The beginning of 5v5 GAC coming back as of, 2 days from now when this video drops, I believe. Wednesday is when it'll start. So, with that being said, Ram, I'm looking at potential 5v5 teams that we are excited to use in the upcoming 5v5 season. So obviously the topic here says best 5v5 teams, guys. Clearly, I think these are going to be great teams that we discuss, but these are more best 5v5 teams that kind of pique our interest, things that we may not have seen or we're interested in seeing how they interact, that kind of thing. So Ram, first question is, what is a team that you are interested in seeing come to the 5v5 season for GAC here? So,
particularly because they're Datacrons, and this is the team that not a lot of people, myself included, are not going to have. So, I'm not necessarily looking forward to them because I'm going to get to use them, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform because I think they're going to perform extremely, extremely well. And they're going to be one of those teams that it's going to highlight their case of wanting to invest in them. The Captain Enoch team. So Captain Enoch, Death Trooper Peridia, Night Trooper, and then I think most people are going to go with TIE Fighter Pilot as their fourth. And then the fifth is really up for grabs, whether you want to do Stormtrooper or you want to do Shore Trooper. Well, not Shore Trooper. You want to do Death Trooper. That one can kind of be a little bit more misplaced, figure out kind of thing. But I think those four is going to be your core. And with this Datacron that Enoch has, it's going to be nasty.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of Terminator going around. There's a lot of Blight going around. There's a lot of alerts going around. This team is going to really, really, really hit hard. My team kind of looks like yours right now. Actually, your Night Troopers already at Relics.
Yeah, I got them at Relics.
That means you got better drops.
I may have spent a little bit of money as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why. I think I'm sitting at like 30 out of 100 on him.
Yeah, I may have bought some packs and spent some crystals.
Got it. But it looks like a very, very solid team. Me personally, it's been annoying just seeing these guys in Conquest because I'm trying to kill them and they won't die. And I don't know why they won't die. And then I realize that it's just because I'm not reading the kit.
So it's like the Tuscans all over again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. So I faced a 3v3 version of this team where it was Enoch, Peridia, and Night Trooper. And it had the Kron, and they were all Relic 7. And we timed out on it. It was a disgusting team. I am actually interested to see. So I am interested to see this team in 5s, but I'm actually interested to see which team is better. Like, is it the 3v3 version or the 5v5 version? Because here's why. In 3v3, you go straight for Enoch. There's no tank, but I couldn't crit anybody to save my life. So we just had to slowly work them down until they had the 9 stacks, and then we could defeat them. But with the 5v5 version, there's no pre-taunt. So if Stormtrooper was a pre-taunt, I think this would totally change things. I think 5v5 would be more difficult. But you can still go straight for Captain Enoch in 5s, get him out pretty much immediately. And in 5s, you've got more characters to use to whittle them down faster compared to 3s, where you just don't have the manpower to take them down fast enough. So I kind of think the 3v3 version of this team is going to be better, just because you don't have the manpower. But I am intrigued to see how it does in 5v5. Man, if they had a pre-taunt, good God, look out. They'd be nuts.
They gotta rework my boy Stormtrooper someday.
Agreed.
And this guy's the wall of Stormtroopers. How I envision the wall of Stormtroopers is literally a wall of Stormtroopers. Like, it's just constantly exactly what like Night Trooper does, where he just constantly comes back.
Yeah.
Stormtrooper just constantly comes back. You like a zombie mechanic almost, right? He's not reviving. He's just being replaced by another Stormtrooper because that's how the Empire made its whole thing. It's an overwhelming force of Stormtroopers. It's not that the Stormtroopers were the elite of the elite, even though they were kind of advertised as such. They just had plot armor.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know the kits super well yet, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's some mechanic in there right now with Peridia and Night Trooper where they do taunt after they've been defeated the first time, I think. So you can't get the Enoch. So, like, what if they just did a little rework with Stormtrooper that made him immediately start with 1 stack of... Is that Decay or Blight? I think it's Decay. I forget which one it is.
Yeah, Decay, I think.
So just start with 1 stack of Decay, so he immediately starts taunting. And you pretty much have to go for him the entire time. Like,
yeah.
I think that'd be an easy rework to do, and it would only apply for pre-taunt purposes to this team. It would not apply when he's with a Moff Gideon lead, I think that'd be really easy to do. Just give us that little teeny rework, and God, this team would be so sick in 5s, man, if that was the case. It probably would be Timeout Central. Not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie. I am intrigued to see how that works out, Ram. So that was Ram's version, guys. Obviously, I'm going to show you guys the team I'm kind of the most looking forward to at this point. So as much as I'd love to see Enoch, mine is unfortunately not up and running yet. But for me, it's going to be, for me specifically, it's the Mon Mothma version of this because I don't have Saw up and running at least. I'm intrigued to see what Mon Mothma can do in 5s. We used her, and specifically I'm talking about with Luthen here, guys. We used her in 3s, and we were able to do some pretty cool things. Yeah. In 5s, I think she's going to be disgusting. But where I'm really intrigued to see here is which Kron do we run? Do we run the Luthen Kron or do we run the PAL Kron? Because that PAL Kron, I did not have it in 3s, but wow, did it do some disgusting stuff. Like that massively overpowered every single time he attacks out of turn. It's insane. Like that team just nukes people. And we faced one on defense with, I forget who we faced it with. It was some really powerful team and we almost lost. Because it just came out and nuked one of our characters on the first turn. Like, it was crazy. Like, so, like I could almost envision this taking out GLs if you're using it on offense in particular. To be clear, guys, the team I'm showing you right now, by the way, is not necessarily the ideal team in my opinion. This is just the team that I wanted to put in to kind of comparison between PAL versus Luthen in terms of the Krons. So you may run a slightly different variation on this. Maybe you throw out Kara, maybe you throw in Scout Trooper, maybe you throw out PAL and put PAL somewhere else. Or maybe you even say, you know what, no, I'm going to try to make 2 teams. I'm going to pull out Luthen and put Luthen with Saw, and maybe run that on defense. Ram, what are you thinking on this, dude? Are you excited to see something like this?
Yeah. So I think the ideal Datacron depends on who you're running as lead for this team. I think if you have Saw, you absolutely go with the Luthen Kron. I think that's no questions asked. I think if you have Mon Mothma with Luthen, you go with the PAL Kron because I think that's just going to be designed with how often PAL works with Mon Mothma and how often he takes turns. I think that would suit you a little bit better in a 5v5 scenario instead of the Luthen Kron. I think the Luthen Kron is probably geared up just a little bit more for a Saul-led team.
I would agree.
Either way, this team does look very, very nasty. I'm very excited for Luthen because he is a super cool character. This is my first 5v5 getting ready to use him.
Right.
Obviously, I went 0-9 in 3v3 because I did my token 1 battle and called it a day. So I get to beat up on the kids in Kyber 3 for 5v5. Yay! It's gonna be fun.
You're a bully. I'm okay with it though.
Get rid of 3v3 and I won't have to be a bully.
There you go. There you go.
Blame CG. Don't blame me.
Oh, man. Guys, let us know in the comments. So first of all, are these teams that you're excited to see? I know this is a little bit more on the late game side of things because these are pretty Datacron dependent, especially late game if you're looking at the Enoch team. But I'd like to know which teams you guys are most excited to see in this upcoming 5v5 season, especially if it's not these two. Because, I mean, there's lots of other potential teams that are going to be really unique and kind of cool to see. So let us know in the comments, guys. Which teams are you excited to see the most in this upcoming 5v5 season of GAC, everybody?
There's one more team that you're missing in 5v5 that I know you're excited to use. It's the Inquisitors.
My God, I hate you. Wait, for those of you who don't know, so we made a new channel point redemption over on Twitch to use the Inquisitors. I only have 3 of them at Relics, but I said, you know what, we're going to have fun with this. And so we have a channel point redemption where I have to use Inquisitors if somebody cashes it in. It's already been cashed in 3 times. It's only been active 1 night. So we cashed in 3 times already.
So you got to use it.
Well, so...
Yeah, so you got to use it all for the first round of 5v5
well,
then,
not
right?
necessarily. I don't necessarily... I have to use it in Swugga. So I don't necessarily have to use it in GAC. If we're doing GAC, then yes. But like, so for instance, last night... there was the Galactic Challenge that required Inquisitors. So I was able to use that in that Galactic Challenge, and that still counted. So it does have to be a Swugger stream. Like if we're doing like tier rankings and stuff, I'm not doing that. I'll just refund it to them.
Why does that count if you already have to use Inquisitors to get Galactic Challenge? You can just get the tier 8 box.
Hey, I don't make the rules, man. I just got lucky.
Scam Shaka. That is a scam. You know damn well we mean to use it in GAC A conquest could be an argument.
It doesn't specify which game mode.
GAC or TB.
It just specifies
Or
the
TW.
game. This is not a democracy, guys. All right, last but not least, everybody. Last but not least, we're going to move on over to our Master of Memes, guys. So, a Master of Memes, everybody, for those of you who don't know, we do this every Friday night over on Twitch. We run a competition basically between two memes, and we vote for the winner over on Twitch on Fridays. We then showcase that person on Discord and here on Rogue Actions as well. So, let's go ahead and head in and check out today's Master of Memes. And before I start,
awesome. That's a great Master of Memes.
I got it eventually. Today's Master of Memes is you guys probably can't see this, but I'll explain it. Must have taken a good year to make that. If you can't tell, guys, that is a road made with Goodyear tires. Ranger loves this joke. It is his absolute most favorite joke. For those of you guys who don't know, Reality Skewed Gamers, Ranger absolutely can't stand dad jokes. So this immediately became my favorite as a result. Versus incoming terrible impersonation, guys. I don't want to be a problem. You won't be, Annie. As it would turn out, Anakin would, in fact, be a problem.
Jesus Christ.
So, first of all, guys, Ram, which meme do you like better and do you think should win?
I don't know. I'm still trying to move past the awful Morgan Freeman impersonation that you just did.
It might be my all-time worst impersonation.
Side note, can we get a channel point redemption for you to not do impersonations?
We probably could.
Because that is just, oh God, there's just some that are awful. Anyways, all right, so I have to go with the Goodyear one just because I don't like, outside the impersonation, the Morgan Freeman meme, it's just not really a good meme. Like, it's okay, I guess. It could be something, but the impersonation is what makes the meme funny as it relates to Master of Memes. The Goodyear one is just, it's good dad humor, and we love a good dad joke. Must have taken a good year to make that, as you have a road of Goodyear tires. You had put this in your Discord, and I actually reached out to Ranger, and knowing full well that he would time me out for it, I did the thing that he could not time me out on. I went into his VC chat and explained the joke to him.
That's even better.
And he was like, yeah, I get it, and I'm timing you out at some point for this. So I'm still waiting for me to pop in his chat and get hanged, as he calls it, just because.
Hang him.
Just because I did this in VC.
Love it.
I have to go with the Goodyear Road. It's too good.
It's too good. I agree, man. I love dad jokes. Dad jokes are a win. Guys, the problem is we don't choose the winner. You choose the winner. The vote on Friday, our Master of Memes is Morgan Freeman. I don't know how it happened. Apparently people fell in love with my impersonation. But they all voted. It was not even close. It was like 90% of the vote went to Morgan Freeman. Like it was nuts. Ram and I clearly disagree, guys. We don't think this was a good meme. If you think you have a better meme than this, or if you think this is a good meme, let us know in the comments down below. Or better yet, head over to the Discord, guys. You can find the link and all that information down below. And join our Discord channel where you can put your memes over into the Master of Memes channel, where we will shout you out for your wins and stuff. And we'll showcase you guys on Twitch, as well as Discord, as well as YouTube. Our winner for this week, guys, Contingent getting upset. He was winning 3 weeks in a row. He was going for the record, guys. He got upset this week by Lord Chicken. Congrats to Lord Chicken on the win, guys. Well done, sir. What a name.
What a name for what a awful impression.
Ram.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Ram, any final words, sir, before we call it a day?
Yeah. So, normally I have something really, really smart to say and really funny to say, but no, I'm going to put out a massive PSA for this week. Be sure to hit the subscribe button for Shaka and go follow him on Twitch. And you do not want to miss his Gak streams so you can see him using Quizzers.
Oh, that was going so well until the very end.
I've been told that a lot.
Guys, have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your work week, everybody. Until next time, guys. See you later. Bye.